Welcome and good evening. We welcome you to our Monday night broadcast of the NBA here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony. We'll be catching up in a bit from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Just a single game at home. After this one, it's back on the road for the Bulls. And this matchup with the Mavericks, it's the first meeting of the season. They lost both of the matchups in this interconference battle a season ago. They'd like to change that now.
Yeah, and they put up a goose egg last year when they played this team twice.
So Dallas will get the first possession. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. On the floor for Dallas, they've got Harrison Barnes. Curry is out there with Matthews. And it's Bogut. And it's Nowitzki in at the 4 spot. Curry, a screen on Rondo. And it's Nowitzki missing. Dallas on defense. Last game matched up with the Magic. Tough loss there.
Yeah, they were just pounded on the inside, particularly on that backboard. That was a huge disadvantage for them.
Rebounding requires boxing out, toughness, and energy. None of that was displayed.
Bogut the pass to Barnes. Bogut with a screen on Butler. Here's Barnes. And it's good off the back of the rim and in.
And Rajon Rondo, really one of the purest point guards over the last decade. When you're talking about assists, I mean, he's a guy with the ball in his hands is very effective at making decisions for the offense, dictating pace. And when he plays off the ball, especially as a spot-up shooter, that's when problems can arise, but he knows how to move without the ball and always seems to find himself in the right place at the right time.
Chicago shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
That's good from Lopez. And for Rondo, somewhat of a resurgence last season, gained back much of the confidence he had lost after his tumultuous time in Dallas.
Yeah, I felt like Rondo felt appreciated last year, and there's no substitute for having the support of your team. This is a proud individual, and we're talking about a big-time game.
And Dallas coach Rick Carlisle signed a 5-year extension last season. The Mavericks said they want him to be at the helm for as long, Doris, as he wants to be there.
Well, Kevin, he becomes the 3rd longest tenured coach in the league after Greg Popovich and Eric Spoelstra. And the Mavs see him as a top 3 coach in the league. You'd be hard-pressed to argue with them.
Here is Rondo. Harrison Barnes picking up that last basket. Rondo kicks to Wade. And Curry pulls it down.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
Here's Bogut. Got it. Good job in the low post.
Yeah, good defense, but just better offense by Bogut.
Here's Chicago. Their last game a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
Their shooting percentage in that game was ridiculous. I mean, they created a lot of good looks for themselves, and you could see they were in rhythm and just continued to knock them down.
You know, a lot of that a product of how well they move the ball, making the extra pass where it made sense. And, you know, that's how guys got such clear opportunities at the rim.
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. Mirotic the screen. Cannon from long range. And it's Finney-Smith with the rebound. For Dallas, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. McDermott with a steal. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Over to the wing. Grant the pass to Portis. Yes, that goes in.
And that lead pass allowed him to get straight to the rim, unabated in stride.
Pulls on D. Outside Gibson. Outside Curry. Shot clock at 5. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
Listen, he's a confident player, but if you're going for that kind of finish, you better finish it.
Mirotic dishes to Grant. Pulls up. Good D by Barnes. It's all tied in Chicago. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
How good has the ball movement been here? Just absolutely terrific.
Boy, the flow of this offense seems effortless. It's like second nature to these guys, and that's why the assists are piling up.
Mirotic at the power forward with Lopez in the middle. D-Wade out there with Rajon Rondo, and it's Butler in at the 3 spot. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter. A lot of players who play like Wade will have brief careers due to the stress it puts on their body. You know, Greg, Wade has had his share of injuries in his time in the NBA, but he is still putting up big numbers despite all the bumps and bruises.
That's a great point. Undersized guards take a beating when they are attacking the basket. Wade has missed a lot of games, but he's been healthy when it matters most. He's also done a good job to adjust his game to be a danger when he's not barreling through the lane.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, we know Jimmy Butler made a big bet on himself back in 2014. He turned down the Bulls' 4-year, $44 million contract extension offer, and it paid off. After a breakthrough season, he signed a new contract, a max deal for 5 years and $95 million. He said of his decision, "I was nervous, I'm not going to lie to you, but everything I put myself through, I knew what I was capable of."
He's come a long way, David. Thank you. Here's Wade after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Wade kicks to Mirotic from outside the arc. A shot off that time. Nice D from Nowitzki. He kicks it to Powell. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dirk Nowitzki. Powell's got his first bucket in this one.
How about the skills of Dwight Powell down low? Hard for the defense to match up with his length.
Rondo kicks to Butler. Lopez, a screen on Anderson. And that's a foul called on Dwight Powell. That's his first foul.
I mean, I like the call. I thought the defense was just there a little late.
.59 seconds left in the first half of the game.
Excellent defense there, but he has to be smarter and a bit more patient.
Matthews passes to Finney-Smith. Bogut dishes to Barnes. Screen by Bogut. Barnes up top. 11 points for him in that last game against the Magic in Orlando.
You know, his rebounding was extremely impressive, too. I mean, he snagged some huge boards out there.
Now McDermott. Harrison Barnes missing on the 3. McDermott kicks to Cannon. They set the pick. Clock at 6. To stop the drought. Out of bounds. Dallas will take possession. Here's Barnes. Some stats for him. He averages over 21 points a game.
I mean, even from over here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
The Mavericks shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
Shooting 2.
And he knocks down the first one. Both good from the line that time. Cannon. He's off on that one. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. The Mavericks on top. Finishing the quarter on a tremendous 8-0 run. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Dwayne, is defense where you're going to win this game?
Well, it is. You know, we got to get more stops, and when we get opportunity to get on transition, we got to look up and we got to get the ball up. I think right now we're getting rebounds and we're taking a break. We got to go, man. We got a very deep team. We got to use it. So second half, we're going to look to run a little more.
Yeah, walking it up isn't going to get it done against this team. Thanks, Dwayne. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time to review. The first quarter for the Mavericks was fairly even. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. In the second quarter, they were easily the better team. The points started coming for them in bunches, and they built a 6-point lead by halftime. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
Well, their shooting accuracy was on point. There was good play calling, of course, by the coaching staff, but it was great execution by the team.
And Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
Well, to say their shots are not falling is an understatement. It's a miracle they're still in this game. They need to flip the switch big time in the second half, and that starts with more movement on offense. If you don't have a great look, find the open man, drive the ball, create an opportunity. Come on, basketball one-on-one.
All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start of the third quarter.
And welcome back as we take you for a cruise up the Chicago River. Beautiful, beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. We've seen Robin Lopez really having a great game.
But really, the numbers aren't gaudy. They don't stick out, but his energy and impact does.
You certainly admire his willingness to step up and be a factor, and it certainly caught the other team off guard.
Well, Doris, the NBA is consistently evolving, changing all the time. What are the biggest changes you've seen in the league over the years?
Well, this should be an interesting conversation because if you think about Michael Jordan's era and how little impact the three-point shot had on the game, to the point where 2 years ago, Greg Popovich says, Kevin, and you've been calling the NBA a lot longer than I have, you can't win without the three-point ball. It's simply impossible. Would you say that that's been the single most significant change?
Probably brought more in focus with what Curry and Thompson have done. I love the ball movement.
It's a lot of fun.
The game is so much more pleasing to the eye now than, say, in the 90s.
Okay, and let me ask you this. So we talk about the three-point shot. The other thing with Golden State, and you mentioned Steph and Clay, this small ball, is that sort of a revolutionary thing that perhaps is not going to go back?
Well, the athletic ability, the length of their arm span, the ability to jump, they can almost equal what a big man would do, even in a smaller frame, a different kind of form, and maybe they've been able to adjust that way? I mean, what do you think? It's
as you know, and you know this better than I do, it's a sort of a reactionary league. And so you saw a team like Washington go away from a double low post that got them to the Eastern Conference Finals, try to play small, and they take a step back.
Yes, good point. Here's who Rick Carlisle is starting the second half with. Curry is out there with Matthews. Then there's Nowitzki. Then there's Harrison Barnes. And it's Bogut in at the center. And he makes all three.
And you think of guys who are 3 and D wings. Wes Matthews, throughout his career, has been one of the league's best. A prolific shooter and tremendously physical on both ends of the floor.
Wade kicks to Rondo. Gibson the screen. Here's Butler. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, as a defender, you have got to fight harder to get through that screen and stay with your man.
And Wesley Matthews, very capable from long range, but that's not all he does offensively, Doris.
No, Kevin, he's gotten much better attacking the closeout and stepping in to hit that mid-range jumper. He also looks to use his strength, going to work on the low block.
Now here's Curry. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. He feeds it to Nowitzki. A fadeaway, and that one good.
Well, Dirk has just made so many mid-range jumpers. When he gets room to fire, he's golden.
Curry with the steal. Fast break, Dallas. And Matthews kicks to Curry.
You know, you figured that Dwayne Wade might be a player to finish his career playing for just one team, the Miami Heat, but in the end, things just ended bitterly. Wade had taken less money in the past so the Heat could win titles. I mean, he was done playing for a discount, and the Bulls, boy, did they step up.
The Mavericks have been on target from the free throw line. They're 5 of 5 in that department.
And they've done some really nice work at the foul line, knocking down 80%.
Free throw good, Curry. The Bulls making a switch here. Mirotic is checked in. Dallas making a switch here. And both free throws good for Curry.
Timeout.
And the first timeout of the game called for Chicago. Right now, let's check out the teams with the best free throw percentage. The Bulls in second.
You know, it's really a team-wide talent. You want to foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
Bulls trail by 10. Mirotic the screen. And defense such a huge part of winning in the NBA. All championship teams, all championship players have it. Doris, which players do you think are the best of the best on the defensive end of the floor?
Well, I think DeAndre Jordan has got to be considered in terms of his ability to protect the rim. The Clippers changed their defensive coverages this year, and they allow him to be at the rim a little bit more, which is a driver. You're sitting there thinking, boy, I don't want to meet DeAndre at the rim. I think you have to look at an underrated guy because of his versatility and ability to guard guys like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, series after series, that would be Andre Iguodala. Unbelievable strength, terrific hands, physicality in terms of his frame to be able to absorb contact. Those are the two guys, to me, different positions, but really huge factors.
Great way to put it. And so here is Chicago, following the score by Dallas. Anderson against Butler. Outside Gibson. Back to Butler. 14 feet away. And it comes off the front of the rim.
More times than not, that shot is going down. Definitely surprised he bricked it.
Anderson passes to Nowitzki. Anderson outside. Curry outside. Buries the long-range jumper. Curry's got 7 points in the game. Bulls trail by 15. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Butler against Anderson. Now here's Butler. He's guarded closely. Pass to Rondo. To stop the run. It's off. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Mavericks lead by 15. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. Moments ago from the huddle, let's listen in on head coach Fred Hoiberg.
Keep fighting, fellas. All right, one possession at a time. All right, how are we going to do it? Take care of the ball. Make sure we're getting back in transition. A lot of game left. All right, we'll get it going here. We'll get it going.
Fred Hoiberg encouraging his players to live in the moment. Don't worry about the score right now. Just keep plowing ahead.
Yeah, great point. You can't undo what's already been done. Just deal with what you can control, which is the next possession.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. McDermott is out there with Portis. Then there's Robin Lopez. Then there's Grant. And it's Cannon in at the two-guard position. That's the 5 out there for the Bulls. Now here's Curry. 6 to shoot. And the Mavericks getting another bucket right there.
And they seem to have gotten something out of almost every possession. Their defense has been just as good, just a tremendous performance all the way around.
You know, makes it more impressive that it's on the road in front of a hostile crowd. This is terrific, terrific game. Yeah, sharp pass inside. Did well to get the ball into the high percentage area.
And Matthews kicks to Curry. The feed to Bogut. Lopez with the block.
You have to be a fan of how Robin Lopez refuses to give any shot a free pass. He'll block and challenge anything.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
And Matthews kicks to Curry. Barnes with it, working on Portis, and plenty of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws coming up.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
And you think back to 2011, the Mavericks win the title, but they let a lot of those players go to free up cap space and pursue bigger names in hindsight, Doris. Do you think that was a mistake?
Well, it's a difficult thing when you know a player is on the back 9 of their career, and they might have held on to Tyson Chandler. You know, he had some great years in New York, but I think they caught lightning in a bottle in 2011. I'm not sure they could have easily repeated. I understand why they decided not to rest on their laurels.
No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also. And the Mavericks, every summer, very aggressive in free agency, Doris, trying to reload to give Dirk Nowitzki a shot at one more title.
And Kevin, it's surprising to me more players haven't wanted to go to Dallas. A vibrant market, no state income tax, and most importantly, the chance to play with a Hall of Famer like Nowitzki, who creates space for everyone else.
Chicago calls timeout. They're down by 14. 1:33 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Rajon Rondo is checked in for Isaiah Cannon. And so many different personalities in the NBA, Doris. You've gotten to know a lot of them. Who stands out as being some of the great players just to talk about the game within this league?
Well, LeBron James, I think, does a really nice job for me of answering questions in a very thoughtful manner. You'll see him just take a second to process whatever it is I've asked, and then really try to give the fan at home a sense of what he was thinking in that particular matchup.
That's good to know. That's interesting.
He's a very, as you know, such a cerebral player, and that translates to the postgame.
11 feet away, hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good.
There's no question he's one of the more gifted offensive players in this league. More evidence of that right here.
Curry dishes to Matthews. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Baseline jumper, and it's Wade with the rebound. Bulls trail by 12.
No question as to which team gave the better effort tonight. A dominant performance and an outstanding win for the Mavericks.
And it may be a comfortable win for them, but they had to weather a few storms along the way, and that's all part of the story.
Yeah, Kevin, this was by no means the runaway that it might appear to be. It was a scrappy performance, though, all the way through.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season. And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Curry.
What a joy to watch when he's got this sort of game going on. He was everywhere. Defensively, offensively, his teammates fed off that energy all game long.
Here's Curry. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Curry kicks to Bogut. Dishes it to Matthews. 6 on the shot clock. Screen by Bogut. Outside for Curry. Feeds it to Barnes. Back to Curry. Bogut at the elbow. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline.
Thanks, guys. Andrew, how does this team continue to show so much poise at the offensive end of the floor?
You know, just trying to get guys open and make the right play. I got to be more aggressive offensively, though. I feel like I'm not as aggressive, and it hurts us at times. So I'm working on that. But as long as we keep doing what we're doing, moving the ball the way we move the ball, as you can see, we put points on the board very quickly. So we're always in the game.
Yeah, this team's never out of it with the firepower that you have. Congratulations. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
And Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Let's take a look at our Jordan player.
He was outrageous. He shot a rare shooting percentage from the field, hitting from everywhere. It didn't matter where he was or who was guarding it. The defense tried to make adjustments, so what? Still knocked down shots.
I like what I saw from him in terms of his offense. It was really a steady night for him at that end of the court. Let me tell you about this guy. He never lacks in confidence. Came out with a purpose, and he got some big numbers and some timely baskets.
And that is the end of our broadcast for this evening. I sound like an old 1940s guy, don't I? That's the end of our broadcast for this evening.
Kenny, Ernie,
for Ken Smith and Shaq O'Neal.
Join me.